Did John McEnroe really criticize the behavior of Nick Kyrgios last week? To paraphrase McEnroe himself, he cannot be serious. For McEnroe to be critical of the behavior of anyone of any age, playing any sport, is the ultimate case of the pot calling the kettle black. Really, really black. Pitch black. Blacker than black. Anyone who thinks that what Kyrgios did on court during his third-round match against Stefanos Tsitsipas at Wimbledon is even in the league of McEnroe at his worst either has a very short memory or wasn't around in the 1980s and early 90s. They didn't call him Super Brat for nothing, folks. In comparison, Kyrgios is just a little on the high-spirited side. As Kyrgios remonstrated with the chair umpire during the Tsitsipas match, correctly arguing that the Greek should have been defaulted for hitting a ball into the crowd. By the way, McEnroe described his behavior as embarrassing. Embarrassing? That's not embarrassing, John. Embarrassing is calling an opponent a communist bastard, or an umpire, the pits of the world. It's ripping the headset off a courtside cameraman and screaming, "Shut up," into the microphone, or being barred from Queen's Club in London for swearing at the chairman's wife. It's boycotting the Champions Ball at Wimbledon and being defaulted from the Australian Open. Maybe most embarrassing of all. It is now carrying on like none of that stuff ever happened and piously sitting in judgment of the latest batch of tennis firebrands who are simply following your example. And what an example you set. John Patrick McEnroe Jr. might be considered a paragon of tennis virtue now. The All England Club even chose him as the model for the hologram figure that guides visitors through the museum at Wimbledon, but at his peak he was the most divisive figure in world sport. In 1979, when he was only 20 years of age and just warming up, a columnist in the Sun newspaper described him as the most vain, ill-tempered, petulant loudmouth that the game of tennis has ever known. A complete list of indiscretions through his 16-year career would fill a book, but just a few selected lowlights make disturbing enough reading on their own. His most memorable meltdown came in the first round of Wimbledon in 1981. Up against Tom Gullickson, he became enraged when a line call went against him, famously telling umpire Edward James, "You cannot be serious, man. You cannot be serious."